Let's leave for an eternity. We'll sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. I'm an addict for your love, it keeps me high, keeps me high. Let's leave for an eternity. We'll sail across the lights beyond the sky. I'll be with you eternally. I'm an addict for your love, it keeps me high. Keeps me high. Keeps me high. Keeps me high. Keeps me high.
Welcome to the Alita Army channel. This is Radio KAOS, Voice of the Alita Army, episode 47, Radio KAOS 1 year anniversary and year in review, where we discuss all the things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gun, and the greatly desired sequels that went on in 2020. I'm the host for this episode, Max Tech, and with me are John Hoots from Arkansas,
Hello.
Dave from Brisbane,
G'day.
Star Valiant from Michigan. He's muted. Muskogee from Colorado.
Hoka hey, Alita Army.
Paulie from South England.
I'm back.
He's back. He is, thank goodness. Eddie McTrigger,
Howdy.
Florida. And guest on today, Grandpa Jam from North Carolina.
Hello.
Alita Ray from Colorado.
Hey there.
And we've got a new guest. It's Greg, Gregorius240. He's on Twitter. He's an Alita advocate and a musician, and I have no clue where you're from.
I'm out in Oregon.
Oregon. Terrific.
So welcome all. Good to see you.
So, Happy New Year, everybody. 2020 is in the rear vision mirror, and oh my God, that's a good thing.
Indeed.
I'm not expecting that, 12:01 on January 1st, 2021 has changed a great deal of things, but at least we can sort of put some stuff behind us and move forward. But oh my God, what a year it was. You wouldn't believe it. I spent probably about 8 hours all up putting together the show notes this week. It was so much stuff that we did last year. Until you go through and look at it all, you just don't realize how much it was. Oh, man. But we'll be going through that shortly. Before we move on to the news, which I'm going to get Angelus to do because otherwise I'll talk myself hoarse, I just wanted to get Greg to give us a little rundown on his connection to the fandom and how he got into Alita in the first place. Greg.
All right. Hey, I got plugged in. I said my story several times through different Twitter feeds, and basically I sort of started to pick up different clips of Alita through different YouTube videos. And I thought, God, that's really interesting. And I sort of remembered it from the previous year. I just caught it about March or April of this year. So there's one good thing that happened in 2020 is I discovered Alita. And I thought, man, this is really amazing. And then as I followed Twitter and I started to see all of you all talking about Alita and then all of the different polls and different ways that you were advocating and just getting the word out, I sort of jumped in. And then I watched the movie as a whole. And, I watched the movie as a whole, and then I jumped in with you. And I thought, man, this is awesome. How did I miss this? And then I saw more and more people asking the very same question. How did we miss this incredible movie? And so I saw all of you, all the Alita Army, just advocating for the Alita Battle Angel and then calling out for a sequel. And I thought, man, I got to get in with these guys. I so want to just add my voice to all of yours. So that's how I got into it. And then I've just been wanting to be an encouragement for you all. It's been a lot of fun and just to connect with people literally across the globe. And so that's my story. I just, cheers to y'all.
Excellent. So, we get 2 or 3 Twitter posts. Well, I was going to say a week, but sometimes it's of people discovering the movie and going, oh my God, how did we miss this? I kind of put it down to shit advertising, mainly because the people who were supposed to be doing the advertising were actually sending out their resumes and trying to get a new job because the movie studio was being eaten by the juggernaut that is Disney. So kind of put a lot of it down to that. And just, it's a new franchise for the movies. And so, a lot of this stuff flies under the radar, unfortunately. But we've done our best over the last year and, year and a half, but the last year at Radio KAOS to get the word out. And it's excellent that you caught that word. So welcome. And we hope that you enjoy your time here and that you'll want to come back again. Most people do.
Totally.
Terrific.
And actually, just one last thing. Greetings from my whole family. You all saw the big poster the movie poster in the lightbox that my wife got me for Christmas, and they all went to the 3 movies we talked about when Alita was re-released in October and November, they all came along too, and they thought this is awesome. So greetings from the whole gregarious clan, and I'm the one that's online, but they all thought you guys are great.
Wow, thank you. So there you go. We've got a whole family involved. That's terrific.
That's right.
Yeah, I was a little bit jealous when I saw that poster within the white box. I was like, wow.
Same.
Yeah. I was
They
just
had a lot
thinking,
of fun.
where can I get one? I want it.
So we weren't sure what had happened to you, Paulie. You haven't been in a couple of months.
Where do I start? Well, first, I tried to keep as a tight hold onto Leah as much as I can, with the thought of other communities needing my assistance and also projects I am now getting involved in. I've had to put some time in development of research and proper development and my own learning of sorts. So I've had to been doing that outside of Alita, and in my spare time, I've been trying to make my edits and stuff, or try to find any time that I can do it. So that's kind of that's the short version. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think of better schedules, and I talk to the people on the other projects that I'm working on to figure out a good schedule where I can contribute to both communities in equal ways and have my own free time. But yeah, so hopefully I will be seen more.
That'd be great. Well, it's a new year, and I think there's some new news, isn't there, Angelus? Angelus, you're muted.
Oh, forgot. Yep. Yeah. I did a. All right, but yeah, there is a little bit to go through. We'll get started off with the tweets. Let me see if I can get my screen shared. Yeah. That one. All right. We'll start off by Sluggy Tinky's little Alita video. Only goes for about a minute, but I won't stay on it for too long. But what I liked about this one is pretty much just animated the little Alitas in the pop vinyl designs, and in a bit of a is that meant to be Hot Toys Alita, I wonder?
Yeah, the bigger one is Hot Toys, and the little ones are the mini Alitas with the big heads.
But yeah, and why have I not liked that yet? But but I mean, yeah, it's just a little bit of fun and all in the spirit of Christmas. So go check that out. Next up is one of the discussing film tweets. What was your favorite movie from 2020? And technically, re-releases count, and naturally, as it's been coined in the past, the Alita bat signal, if you will, was shone in the sky, and we all turned up for that one. A total of 764, but you know, a good chunk of it was all Alita. And of course, the while we wish it was re-released worldwide, we're glad that it was mostly in the US. No doubt they sorely needed the marketing and the drive for the cinematic re-release anyway. After that, we've got our good friends at Cinemark. And name a movie character you want to be friends with in real life. And of course, we all turned up for that one as well. But while we're just on this tweet, While we are on this tweet, especially those that might not have already, and even if you have, what is it about Alita that our our guests, if anything, like, why would you choose to be friends with the leader, especially knowing the life that she's led?
I'm not sure. Friends tend to wind up dead. Maybe I'd pick Godzilla. Maybe I'd pick Godzilla or something. I mean, your odds might be better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do raise a good point, because obviously we all know what happens to Hugo, but
Hugo,
let's face-
Tanji.
and even though it's all, I guess, without sounding too mean, all their own damn fault.
Yeah.
Calling your keyboard is very loud. Can you mute when you're not talking, mate?
What'd the poor doggy do? It didn't hurt anybody.
Right.
Actually, you got a good point. What did the dog do?
Existed.
But did he die? We only saw the blood. We didn't see the body.
The
Well,
dog
Of course,
wrote-
we've-
Well, there was
the dog wrote a check that its body couldn't cash.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Actually, there
Too
was a
soon.
video out that he was made into a cyborg too, wasn't he? That little dog.
That's what I heard too. The scene.
There is a clip on there is a clip on YouTube. If you Google Alita Battle Angel doggy, you should get it, or
Yeah,
YouTube
I'll do it
search it.
later. But yes, we all. These are all the kind of tweets that we all have fun with. But yeah, now on to the news article. Something that I've recently learned that while I'm preparing the show notes and looking for articles and whatnot that have been released, I've got to learn to start to do that now. What do we got? First up, from Slash Film. Most of these will still, I guess, go over the same information,
Most of them do, yeah.
but as you can see by the tabs, there are a lot of I guess a lot of different sources just reporting on the same one, on the same subject, which is, I guess, a good thing, because it means that well, even some of the critics are starting to be won over, or at least starting to mellow out anyway. Does anyone know where the main one was from? Like the actual interview? Or Forbes, do I have that one up there? Or was that even here?
Yeah, it was a Forbes interview, I believe. Forbes is the fourth one.
Oh, yeah, here we go. So yeah, I'll just work it off this one, but like you'll see that it all does go over most of the same information. But yeah, I don't know who the person is that did the interview, but they basically just talked about most of Robert Rodriguez's work. For the most part, his more recent endeavor, which is We Can Be Heroes, which is a Netflix release, yes. Now, just let me go to the Alita part. Is that it? Here we go. Alrighty, so with fans of Alita Battle Angel still baying for a sequel of some kind, and with experience of working... I know, right? I mean...
Yeah, I bay at the moon every night.
So what does it sound like when you ask for an Alita sequel?
Same way.
But yeah, but he goes on to say, Rodriguez's response, I think anything is possible. Disney bought Fox and they have Disney Plus. So that's worthy of the conversation. And I know other people, practically the whole world, would love to see another, and he would love to do another one. As far as where it would go or how it would be made, I think streaming has opened up a lot of opportunities, such as sequels. It's already a pre-sold concept. It's already got a built-in audience that want to see it, and then it's delivered to them in a way that's easiest for them to consume. So it's not a bad idea. And while some of us might not have the best or flashiest TV, I mean, does anyone else have thoughts on, like, if we got the sequel that we all truly desire, but it was mostly on, or at least first released on streaming, how would people feel about it? Like, what are your guys' thoughts?
I'd still probably watch it. I mean, I'd rather see it in the theaters because I know I have a large TV, or fairly large, and it's not the same, watching it on television than it is in the movies. But I would say I would still watch a streaming series on television, although I would prefer looking at it, watching the movie, or the sequel rather, in a theater.
So I would see. First of all, I think we're probably going to get both a series and a movie, but as I would like to just wait and see if theaters ever do kind of come back or even survive, because we may not have much of a choice. Um, we don't even know if there's going to be a theater to watch in, even if they wanted to. But they would probably
Yeah.
do a simultaneous release, theaters and streaming, probably. And I would try to go to the theater if I can. But what I'm worried about is that there isn't one near me at that time. What if they just don't make it? What if they don't survive long enough and they become less accessible to people? And that's what I'm kind of really concerned about. But right now we don't really have much of a choice. We have to, COVID just changed everything, so we have to take what we can get.
Yeah, I would second what Tony said. That's pretty much my opinion too. And I think we're still in a bit of a waiting game for them to see how this shakes out. I've been to the theaters a couple times recently, and actually I think they're doing a little better. Like, I went to Monster Hunter the other day, and they were doing early shows at 30% off. So as a senior, I got in for $6, so that was fine. So I went to see it. There was 9 other people in there for a 2 o'clock show on a Wednesday afternoon. That's not too bad.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're kind of coming. Yeah, and it's not like it was new release. This was just last week. It's been out about 2 or 3 weeks.
The movie that not many people are looking forward to either.
Yeah, no, it was something brainless to go to, and I wasn't going to go see Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, but it looks like to me, and it's come back a little. I've gone to a couple things like that, and I think it's coming back a little bit. I think what we'll wind up is with simultaneous release or almost simultaneous release. And the theaters that are like the ones near me, the 2 AMCs, one of them that's all recliners and the other one that's got Dolby and IMAX. In some forms, those things will survive because people will still go out to see the premium and the big screen type of setups. But it's going to be a survival of the fittest. And I don't think they'll make a final decision until they got some clarity in the tea leaves and the crystal ball about what kind of number of screens they're going to look at. How many, what's their box liable to be in the future? I mean, I think Wonder Woman did 38 million its first weekend in China. That's nothing. It did 16 million here its first week in the domestic US or something like that. That's nothing compared to what they're used to making. So until they get the money figured out, we won't find out. But I think we're looking at something about like what Tony said, and we just have to wait it out.
Yeah, there will be quite a wait time. But I also saw a tweet there the other day with a number of people responding to it where the feeling was that this is a Cameron-esque movie, even if it's not directed by Cameron, it's produced by him. And the desire is there for the big screen 3D experience. Obviously, that's what he's planning with Avatar. And we're hoping that Alita will, stick to that format so that we can then have an opportunity to see it in a cinema with the biggest screen possible, possibly in IMAX, possibly in 3D, and still get that experience that we really enjoyed the first time around. Obviously, the whole landscape of the cinemas have changed, and whether or not it'll actually happen is another thing entirely. But I'm thinking that, yeah, you're right, it will probably be a co-release, and the people who really want to see it on that big screen in 3D with Dolby and everything will make the extra effort to get there to do that. But it won't be the big box office release only at cinemas things that it used to be pre-COVID.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. Well, I mean, I saw it in Dolby 3D, and believe me, that's the way I want to see the next two. There's nothing compared to Dolby 3D for that movie. It just blew me away. IMAX 3D didn't really compare to it. It was awesome. I want to see them that way, and hopefully they will release all of them in that format. That's what Cameron wanted. Cameron said to him it's the best format, and so he did it in the best.
Similar, like they'd still, even if they closed down, the cinema screens would still be there. So, I mean, if worst case scenario, wouldn't some other, like a person that might have their finger on the pulse, metaphorically speaking, like buy them up, I guess, or like would they get absorbed, similar to like what Disney's doing with all the smaller studios?
Well, something along those lines kind of just happened. I mean, AMC just got $100 million cash injection from investors. Okay, and so that's kind of what that's doing. And I don't think it's not an all or nothing scenario. My guess would be the way this shakes out is, in the end, smaller ones die off, the smaller chains don't make it, and maybe even with AMC and something like that, they end up shuttering some locations in favor of the more premium ones, like the one I go to down
with
south
IMAX and 3D and all
yeah,
that.
or the one just south of me, about 5 minutes, has got 14 screens, and they're all recliners, and they've got GDX, the real high intense digital. The one just a little to the north of me, they're neither of them's more than 5-10 minutes away from me. It's got IMAX and Dolby. It's a 20. They probably just need to close about 10 of the other theaters, box it off into the section that's got Dolby and IMAX, and run it that way. But and some of the other ones, there's one called Veterans 24. It's all recliners. They've got, I mean, there's some nice ones in this area, but they could shutter up some of the other ones. And then it's a survival of the fittest. And then you've got more people clamoring to those theaters and keep them alive. Could be something along those lines. I don't know. But like I said, it's still shaking out, and I don't think they know yet either. And what was already a complicated process of putting the money together is now 10 times more complicated in terms of putting the money together to make a movie like Alita. So I think they at this point, if Disney hadn't bought Fox and we hadn't had COVID, I think we'd be waiting for the movie to come out post-production right now. But it is what it is.
Yes, but
I think it's also
anyway,
one thing
crossed.
is that it will be really hard to make Alita without a movie budget due to the entire character change that's needs to be done.
Yeah.
So you kind of need a movie format. I think, like, the way I would like to see it is I would like to see other story arcs from Alita, like Japan and maybe even something of Edo or something. Other story arcs that are not crucial. Well, they are crucial, but don't always relate to Alita or translate into Alita's story. So, like how Japan gets the Berserk armor, spoilers and blah blah blah. That could be good as a series, because I'm sure Ed Chikrin, I can't say his last name,
Screen.
Screen, that's it, would definitely come back, and his character is not necessarily tailored to need CGI. The only thing that's really needed is kind of a neck and all the hands, but you can do a lot of that through costume design. So I think the way I would like to go have it done is have the movies focus on Alita and Alita's point of view, but have shows on the side to do the arcs that probably will not be able to be established inside the films.
Well, we know the world itself is big enough to have that sort of setup, but would the world know the rest of the world outside of Iron City and outside of Alita enough to be interested in it, though?
Right. That's the gamble. That's the tough part.
Look, as time goes on, the technology to produce a fully digital character over the top of an actress will get cheaper. Obviously, all of the stuff they set up for the first movie doesn't need to be redone. It just needs to be re-rendered. So there's savings in a sequel, as long as you don't, place it completely somewhere else, which, if they follow along with the manga, they won't. So, you've got sets, you've got digital assets that are already made. So there are some significant cost savings of a sequel. But then,
I think that's all
the financial situation of Disney is that, they're only going to put money into things that they know are going to do well because of the losses that they've taken recently. So it's not a positive financial situation.
No, but you're right, and the cost will come down. And I always use the How to Train Your Dragon model because they did 3 of those movies. The first one cost them like 170 million, but by the second one, because of everything they already had done, it was under 150. And I think the third one was less than 135 because they've got so much already done. So yeah,
and don't forget they were like 5 years apart each.
Yes, that's right. They did the trilogy. They did that trilogy as a film, another one 5 years later, and another one 5 years after that.
Not that I want to wait 5 years for Alita, but there it is.
If I can guarantee a movie is going to come out for Alita in 5 years, I'll be more than happy to wait with that guarantee.
And especially if they let Rodriguez and Cameron have the creative control and Disney keep their fingers out of the pie.
Yeah, and Rosa said she can play Alita till she's 80, and maybe she's going to have to. I don't know.
Grandma Alita. Anyway, we know we've got a lot of year in review stuff to get through, and I've only got 2 more to go. Now, here's another article, the 10 coolest cyborgs in anime ranked. You'll probably all be surprised by some of the listings, but I'll go through them. So at 10, we've got Stroheim from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Genos from One Punch Man. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. Some of them I don't even know. We should get Cranberry. She's probably more. Kikuchiyo.
How was this ranking?
You say
How was this ranking
racist.
determined?
You would know, wouldn't you?
It'll be by the article, D'Angelo Epps. Who's this from? To comic book something? Oh, anyway.
Comic book resources.
Yeah.
I got you right.
7th, we've got Android 18 from Dragon Ball.
I know somebody who won't be impressed with that positioning.
Yeah.
It's a big game.
Hashtag where dead. We know he's alive now, but
Hashtag get your ass back in your den.
Yes.
yeah, you think something like this might get him back. We'll probably have to have this bookmarked or something. In 6th place, we've got Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop. He's another one I reckon he should be a little bit further up. Joe Shimamura, or Cyborg 9. Frankie from One Piece. And then, of course, we all should say. Or at least she's in the top 3, so that's the main thing. We got Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell at 2. And
What is that?
in Nuashiki.
This is outrageous.
And some old guy with his head broken
Men in
off.
Black.
I know,
You've
right?
got, you've got a badass Martian against this old scissorhead guy. I don't.
Scissor head. I'm dead.
A human transformer.
Whatever drugs they were smoking, I don't want any.
Kind of reminds me of Men in
Either
Black
that or
when
the-
dude's head opens up from his ear. Little alien inside.
Like that's that. To
Oh,
be honest,
yeah.
it's good storage.
Yeah, lunchroom.
And then there's the other article.
Hey,
Whoops, I had it open. 10 anime and manga creators who disowned adaptations of their work. Now, the one that refers to Robotech, I believe, is the anime done by Harmony Gold. I sort of still enjoyed it, but I've also seen the Japanese version called Macross. But I've always been a big fan of the premise myself, anyway.
There
Then we've
was
got
3
the-
Japanese versions which were all turned into Robotech in English. So
Yeah.
that was 3 separate stories, and they just went, "Oh, we'll make them 3 parts of the same story," and everybody went, "What?"
Live action adaptation of the Bits of the North Star, starring Gary Daniels, I think his name is. Yep. All right, we'll go straight to the leader. And we all know that Kishiro wasn't a big fan of the anime, but he was a big fan of the live action adaptation.
Phew.
But that's about it from me, or at least in terms of the news, anyway. Yeah, that's everything.
Weren't you going to mention Den's return to YouTube? Show notes.
No, the secret files.
the X-Files.
They'll find out we're organized. We can't have that. We'll lose our KAOS standing.
That's right.
Disney bots.
Wow, they used Google Documents.
How's that go again, Paulie? You know.
Oh my.
So I'm sure everybody in the fandom has seen the return of Den to YouTube. He hasn't returned to social media as far as I can tell yet, but when he does, we'll be trying to lever out of him what actually happened because it's still a bit of a mystery. But depending on whether or not he wants to tell us, but hopefully we can get him back in here and talking to us again in 2021, which it is now. So get in here, Den. Alrighty. And also there was the red Alita car. I did not realize that was on YouTube. I thought it was just a Twitter post.
What? There's a
yeah,
red Alita car?
Yeah, it was sent to me by somebody on Instagram. He said he also posted it on Facebook. He didn't mention anything about YouTube, but he just, and I just shared it. He mailed, what do you call it? It's not a DM on Twitter. I mean, it's not a DM on Instagram. It's called a private message. So that's how I knew about it.
Yeah, I saw it in my Facebook group.
I'll check that out later. I'll probably get a link from someone.
It's
Is it
pretty-
just like a decal sort of paint work or something?
I can't think of the actual term for what those are called, but
Wraps.
right.
It was a
That's a wrap, boys and girls.
So can you guys see that now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow. And it's red.
That's dedication right there.
I think that El Alito needs to step it up now. He's been outdone.
That's right. Nice.
Yeah, that's
Alito,
way
you
cool.
have a challenger.
Cameo from
Oh, yes.
Alita, babe.
Oh, that is nice.
That is nice, but that is not cheap to have done.
No. I'm
Cran can
surprised
do
the
that.
Facebook's as good as it does. Honestly,
I don't care. I want that on my car.
ultimate advertising right there.
Yeah, on my truck it'd be trolling. It wouldn't be advertising. So.
Yeah, I've
Okay,
kind of
wow.
overdone it with the Alita stickers. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the red Alita car, which I don't even know where in the US that is, but wow, I'd want to just take some photos of it.
I'm sure someone will somehow find it.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for doing the news there, Angela, so that the poor folks don't have to listen to me for too long.
It's a lot of
Like you
news.
said.
Well, yeah, you think the news was long. The document was
I
flashed up there
know.
in 7 pages of notes, so you can imagine how much of this is. But I'm going to attempt to scoot through it as quickly as I can. So, guys, if you have any comments in the panel here as we're going through, just politely interrupt and say what you want to say at a convenient juncture, because I'm going to keep moving on and we want to keep it all in context.
We do
Okay,
have to talk
so
about one thing that we missed. The words that Robert Rodriguez had said. Um, it's on the Little Army blog. He, he had an interview with somebody from Discussing Film, and he had a few words specifically about us.
I know which one you're talking about.
oh, it's blog.
Oh, I forgot the blog. My apologies there. Oh, and
Is it
that's
under the social media tab?
what I had in the back of my head too. Now I'll quickly share my screen. I'll do that part. Try screen.
Ah, yes. I did actually see this, but forgot about it.
Yeah, my apologies there. I completely missed this one. But long story short, I mean, basically what Rodriguez says is that he'd rather have a movie that's endearing and lasts for a long time than like makes a lot of money in the first few years and then people just forget about it as time goes on. And for example, here it said if they are affected by it enough that they would take the time and go start a campaign, that's like next level. It's so impressive and heartwarming because you went and did that really because you also love the material the same way and you felt it was worth the number of years you're going to put into making it. So when it's validated by an audience, Alita Army, even though, you know, it wasn't the perfect time to come out with it, but the fans still didn't let anyone forget that they loved that movie. It's almost better than having a movie that does really well, but no one remembers in 6 to 8 years. And I'm sure everyone else feels the same way in some shape or form, but that just, you know, it goes.
It's nice when it comes from the mouth. When it comes from from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, this is like
I love this article. It was great.
It's nice to know he's still invested in it too, like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad he said shots fired at Marvel. Pew pew pew. Yeah.
And you know, it's, I mean, you could probably take it both ways, but you know that it's like he talks about Alita with the same passion that he talks about any of his other projects as well. Like I said, more recently, the We Can Be Heroes, to his earlier works with Sin City, and then earlier still with Desperado, and so on and so on. And yeah, so you know that it's not just another director or producer that's out to make a quick buck or to recuperate losses from COVID. He does it because he loves his job. He loves what he does. So yeah, thanks for the reminder of that, Star. Oops. Hang on.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Alrighty, so back to my massive page of notes. Okay, so the first episode of, this is like Days of Our Lives, but only for 1 year. The first episode was December 29, 2019. That's when we all first got together. to talk about Alita on this particular channel. I think we probably had about slightly over 100 subscribers at that time. The channel had, before that, just sort of been a landing zone for other people's videos, somewhere to go to as a hopping off point for other YouTubers who were representing Alita. And a group of us got together and thought, well, we really need to sort of do something under the Alita Army banner that is pulling the fandom together and talking about Alita, keeping interest up, keeping the desire strong for a sequel, and organizing somewhat so that we can get people doing things and being seen. And I think it really has worked in that fashion. We've talked about Twitter pushes and Alita Day and all the other things that we got up to in the past year. All that information has been passed out through these live streams, and admittedly they have run a little bit long, but at least the news has been in the first part, so people can just hop on, watch the news section, and if they're not that interested in the main topic, they can pass that over and just catch the news in the next week. But it has been very good that the stream has been able to regularly keep pumping out that information and keeping the fandom aware of what's going on. So that very first episode, we look back at 2019, so it's a little bit of a, same thing we're doing today as the first stream of 2021. The events of the year from the theatrical release of the first one, the coalescing of the Alita Army, the home release, and the realization that we needed to campaign for a sequel, and early Twitter pushes. And then we did 46 more. So
I've got a question.
Yeah, sure.
Just to even give the current viewers an idea of how things have come along and even how things have changed, how many of the people on the screen right now were there at episode 1? Like, for example, I only know that yourself, Star, I think John was there in episode 1, and maybe Eddie.
Yeah, I was there. I named it Radio KAOS.
I have that list. It's one of my coming up points, in fact. So,
okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'll so just give me a sec. I don't want to miss out on anything. So that topic was so big, we needed a second live stream to get through it all. And I think we had a few technical issues with the sound on that very first one, which of course has been a theme with Radio KAOS that we bring chaos. So not casting any shade on Star or Pooley or any of the guys who've been doing the technical side of things. I know that it is difficult and I know that it is stressful. And I appreciate all you guys and the hard work that you put in. So,
here.
But we do get the chaos. It's just one of those things with doing a highly technical. I mean, we could do the simple method, but Star never likes the simple method, so he makes it look awesome when it works. So we're glad that it's working today. So that particular live stream, that first one, the panel was Dennis, who isn't here today. He gave his apologies. We had Eddie Corso. It was the only one that Corso had been on. She was a very knowledgeable voice on that stream. We had John, Star, Foxfire, Pooley, and myself. So that was the original band. Corso was a special guest. She wasn't part of the original organizational group, but yeah, it was a very heartfelt stream. We all got up there and put our hearts out to the internet about how much we loved our favorite movie and all the things that we felt about it. And I was actually reviewing it again for these notes that I made. And yeah, we were really vocal and it was heartfelt. And go back and watch it if you've got the time. It's just
Yeah, it's long.
all
It's so
kind
good.
of that way. We don't do anything by halves. Then we did another 45 episodes, as I mentioned, and we had a massive list of topics, including the deep breath, 2020 plan of action, manga to movie and sequel predictions, community expansion, cosplay, merch, sales figures, Twitter trends, theatrical release anniversary, hopes and fears, deeper meanings and cosmological relationships. Thank you, Eddie.
I love that one. It was all
Watch
about
parties. Watch parties, music videos. Thank you, Paulie, Moonheart, and Jerome, and all the other guys who don't come to mind immediately. Alita YouTubers, Alita prequel trailer, which it's got another one later on when it was completed. Fan art, including Lou drawing live. So, Cran, you weren't the first one to do that, but
That's fine.
But it is always excellent when we can get artists on to do drawings. Talking about Rosa with Rosa Salazar BR, which broke because her internet died. Reviewing the critical reviews, how to support Alita Battle Angel, will Disney survive, more reviews, more art, Alita online conversations polls, Alita's motivations and implications, novels discussion, manga discussion, space elevators, supplemental books, rating the trolls, Alita's history, inspirations and cultural impact, cinematic re-release question mark, situation update, Gundam collectibles, heritage, Bildungsroman and re-release hype, so much re-release hype, re-release celebration, fan videos, keeping the fandom thriving, Alita memes, original series ending discussion, music of Alita Battle Angel, more art, that was the one where Cranberry was drawing live, and finishing off the year with a watch party. So guys, we've been busy.
Damn.
Sounds like you haven't done enough.
What?
Could have
Just
done
seen
more.
that one coming.
Amateur hours.
I had to.
So as you can see, we have covered from the front door to the kitchen sink to the back door in the House of Alita. So the next year
But we
of
still got
topics-
upstairs.
That's right. But the House of Alita has another level. That's right. So we may well be looking at topics that expand a little bit away from Alita and start comparing Alita to other IPs and similarities and differences with those. So year 2, we're planning to move a little bit away from the direct Alita topics and maybe move into some other areas of comparisons with other things. So if you have any ideas on that, please drop your suggestions into the guest sign-up sheet. And while you're at it, you can sign up as a guest. And if you want to talk about those things, hint, hint. So speaking of guests, guests from the fandom in 2020, we had 43 individual guests. And some of those came on up to, like 10 or 12 times. So I want to thank you guys for being involved. It always felt like we didn't have enough guests. I was always hunting around for guests, but no, you guys came out. There was 43 different people who weren't involved in the core group who came on. So thank you so much for doing that. And those who want to join that fabulous 43, please sign up on the guest sign-up sheet and we'll get you on here. Just like Greg, it's his first time on. So quickly running through that 43, we had Cran Jam, Avon, C-Play, Vladdy, Matau, Alita Law, Yoko Kunstler 99, Enigma Seeker, Jay A Nice Day, Sluggy Tinky 21, Corso, Moonheart X, Bozilla, Stanley Z, Tankon Leo, Corso, Mr. Sam, Brian from Scotland, who's just called himself Brian, Radio 5, Reverend JJ, Chibi Games, I've got Moonheart X in there twice. There you go. Black Egg 5, Johnny Sci-Fi, Izan Remnos, Bazilla 4, Led Apprentice, aka Lou, Sluggy Tinky 21, Overlord Dan from the Movie Cellar, Lola from Rosa Salazar BR, Lee Augustine, Josh Samuel, Alita Rave, Lim Wang, Radio KAOS, Jay A Nice Day, Yoko Kunstler, I've got him again, a proud Resistor, Gunham Fan Club, Mike Reeves from Cinema Blend, Matt's is my best subject, Paul Untitled, and as I mentioned before, Greg is our latest. And seeing as I have a couple of people mentioned twice, it now sounds like it's 41. My
Well,
apologies.
did you say Selena? I don't remember, or did she go by a different name?
She's in a different section.
Oh, okay.
They had quite a bit of that.
Guests. So that's movie-related guests. So next up, we have movie-related guests. There were 7 of them. The first person who came on was David Sobolov, who did the Centurion's voice. He was in episode 11 on March the 7th. David, besides having one of those silky smooth voices, was very friendly. He was our very first movie-related guest. The excitement was palpable when that happened because, it was our first person who was involved with making the movie. We'd asked a few people to come on before, but I guess we didn't have much in the way of legitimacy at that time because we hadn't been going very long. But David was the first to come on. And anybody who was there on that stream, do you have any recollections of that one?
Disney greenlighted the Alita sequel. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I remember that too. That we couldn't end up using it.
Did he actually do the actual voice sort of thing? Like
yes, he recorded the voice lines for the Centurion.
I'm going to rewatch that episode.
Yeah, well, that's why I mentioned the episode and the date so that people could go back and check these out. It's also been suggested to me for inviting future people on that I make a remix of these people's visits and put it up as the movie guests of 2020. And then when people are going out to invite people, they can refer them to that and they can see what they're in for. So I hope to get to that sometime in the next month. Crossing my fingers on that one. So after David Sobolov, the next person who came to visit us was indeed Selena Leon, Rose's body double. That was episode 18 on the 9th of May. So Selena was lovely. She's a Texan local, and she did a lot of standing around in the actual clothes that you saw digitally produced on Alita. And they use that for lighting and shadow and texture references when making the clothes on the digital model. So that was a very important task that she had to make it look as good as it did. So many thanks, Selena, for that. You had something to say about that one, Eddie?
Yeah. I was going to say she also did something else, if you recall. She mentioned, we were talking about the outdoor scene, and she said, well, I can't really say which falls it is. And that was all I needed to hear. I got on Google, went to Austin, typed in waterfalls. Okay. And you remember, because me and you were in conversation on it at the same time, and I'm finding it and I'm saying, okay, it's McKinney Falls State Park. It looks like this shot. I'm not 100% sure. And then you came back in and posted the photo of them doing the shoot right there on the same shot and said, yeah, this is it. And I came back in and posted and said, yeah, and look at this. Because that rock overhang they walk over to get to the ship is actually a natural feature in McKinney Falls State Park. That one little thing she said is what got us to McKinney Falls State Park and knowing that that's where the outdoor scene was shot.
Yeah, so we always try to hunt down little snippets from these people. I usually try and craft my questions to get all the little juicy bits of behind-the-scenes information out of them, and that was one of them. So that was a good bit of movie detective work there, Eddie.
Well done.
And I do believe that Enigma Seeker and another
Nameless Hunter Warrior, I think. Yeah, they met up there already.
Yeah, they went up there and checked it out. But it is quite good when you see these shots in a movie because only certain elements in the scene are legit. And, they did things like made the space below the rock overhang look much bigger and the pool was huge and they sort of changed the whole background of it.
Too.
In fact, at one point when they're standing there, they're supposed to be the crew's supposed to be looking out at the ship, and they say something like, "How long can she hold her breath?" And one of them says, "I don't know," or something like that. It's been a month or so since I watched it. But if you look in the background, there's little waterfalls behind them, Actually, those would be if they're turned in an entirely almost opposite direction from looking at it where the armed ship is. But if they had filmed them actually looking towards where the armed ship was, first off, they'd have had to have the camera rig out over the water. Second off, there's nothing much interesting behind them.
Yeah, these little movie tricks to make it seem more interesting than it actually is.
It's fascinating.
Well, that's the thing about Rob Rod. He's really good at using what he has in interesting and creative ways, and that's why I think he's going to be very popular at Disney.
Yeah, he's like MacGyver or something, the old TV character. You can give him a tin can and a light bulb, and he's got you. Because he knows something to do with it, and that's what Rodriguez is like. He can manufacture stuff out of almost nothing. That's what got him where he is.
Can he defuse a nuclear bomb with a tennis racket and 2 coat pegs?
It might take
totally.
him 3. It might take him 3.
Okay, so after Selena, it felt like the floodgates had opened somewhat. On the 23rd, Pixie Phoenix, who was an extra who lives in Texas, episode 20 on May 23, she came to visit us and tell us about her experiences. And apparently the filming, it was cold when she was there. It was winter time. So you see all these people wandering around in T-shirts and stuff. They must have been bloody cold. But she liked her visit to the Alita Army live stream so much that she came back multiple times. So that was terrific. She told us everything she could possibly think of to let us in on what was happening behind the scenes. And then on episode 21, which was the following episode, on the 30th of May, we had Todd Waters, who is a regular supplier of costumes to Robert Rodriguez through his Junker Designs. And he also, as he told it to us, stepped up and said, "Hey, you haven't got anybody to play this motorball
Exploder.
Junker. Called Exploder." Yeah. So he actually talked his way into being a bit part in the movie. So it was very interesting, episode 21, to hear all about how he managed that. So episode 21 is quite a good one to go back and listen to, because Todd gives us a great deal of interesting information about not only costumes and how they're used within Robert Rodriguez's movie, but his opportunity to step up and play a bit character. So episode 22, which was the very next one, on the 6th of June, we had Zara Manjidpour, I think that's how you pronounce her surname, who was also an extra. She was in the background of the bar fight, and she came on and told us a lot of interesting information about how the bar fight scene came to be and what was involved in being an extra within a busy scene like that. So that was really quite interesting as well. I don't, off the top of my head, have any great points to pass on about that particular interview, except to say that there was a lot of similarities between Pixie's experience and Zara's. But they both said that the main cast didn't mix with them very much. They sort of kept to themselves. And but the experience of being an extra was really quite enjoyable, although it was quite cold. So obviously during that filming, it was quite cold in Texas at the time. So then things got a little bit quiet as far as people involved with the movie was concerned until episode 28 on the 25th of July, when now I consider this as one of my major wins of 2020, was getting Pat Cadigan to come on and talk about the novel.
Yeah.
We'd worked on her for at least 6 months. Various people had spoken with her, and I don't know that she was avoiding us, but I just think she's very busy and she has a lot to deal with in her life especially as you've probably seen if you follow her Twitter account at all, that she's gone through cancer and she's currently in remission. So she's making the best of every day. And I do know from my wife having had cancer that the drugs can, affect your memory and things like that. So things that aren't directly in front of you, you can't necessarily keep in your mind. And so I expect that she was happy to come on, but she just wasn't, focused enough on us to recognize that, this thing was happening. But I did manage through gentle prodding to convince her to come on. So she came on the 25th of July, which was episode 28. And that was a fantastic episode. We'd been holding off talking about the novels specifically to talk to her about them. And she was a font of information about her process, how she got the gig, how she got the other gig, because another woman dropped out who was writing the prequel. That was a fantastically interesting one. And she has said that she will come back on. So, given enough time that we can come up with some more questions, we'll get her back on again. Paulie, you're looking excited.
I want to be there. I missed the last one.
We'll have to get her back on for Paulie. There you go.
I think I was up here in my edit, so yeah.
Well, you always have the recording of the stream to go back and watch. And if you come up with some new questions, get it back.
Can't argue.
So there's your job for the weekend, Paul.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got anything else to do, right? Okay, so after Pat, things sort of got busy with the re-release and all that sort of thing. So we didn't actually do a lot of chasing of movie stars. We did have a few inklings that a few people might be interested, but nothing coalesced until Demetrius Pulido came on episode 46, which was the one just before Christmas, and he was a cyborg jacking victim. We had some technical issues with that one, and he was very understanding, a really nice guy. He's also in Texas, and he has been in bit parts for a lot of Rob's movies. He was in at least 3 of them, and he was the cyborg jacking victim that Tanji and Biff were working on when Hugo and then Zepeda shows up. And Tanji has to split.
Yeah, has to split.
Oh,
You just had to do that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
I apologize, Dad.
You could say that he had to make a split decision.
oh.
Too soon?
He was really torn over what he had to do.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Part ways with everybody.
Okay, that
But
was
Demetrius
actually
is a really
pretty
nice
good.
guy. Demetrius is a really nice guy. He talked about it was cold. He was lying on the ground for 2 days, getting that shot right. He was lying there when the sword came down, but it was a cardboard sword, and obviously, the neck cut was all CGI and everything like that. But it was very interesting to hear what he had to say, and we wish him well, and we hope that he gets a part in the sequel when it comes around, because that will be interesting as well.
Well, he's gonna. That would be a struggle. Someone
Well, he may not
his mind.
He may not play the same character. A bit of makeup would be good. Okay, so those are the highlights of both the fandom and movie visitors that we had on in 2020. So as you can see, we had lots of people on. We had people on from the movie, and hopefully we can keep that up in 2021. If you have any way to contact any of the actors or people who were involved in the making of the movie, please do, and tell them that we're interested to talk with them. Are you going to say something, Stan?
Can I?
I was going to say we hope to get Leonard Wu and eventually, how can I forget her name now?
El Lamont.
Yeah, El Lamont. Hopefully we can get those two on.
Oh, yeah.
For those who don't know, that's Kanuba and Screwhead.
Yeah.
So those are goals for 2021, I guess. and I've sent an invite to Ken Johnson as well, but I don't know. He's probably not going to do it.
Hey,
And
can I jump in and ask something else, or just something that an interview that happened that you didn't mention was actually your interview, Max Tech, with the guys at the Movie Cellar, kind of the other way, where they're interviewing you, which was I thought a fantastic. That's actually one of the big hooks that got me into the Alita Army, was hearing you just talk about the broad scope of the Alita Army. And that was it was an awesome interview in and of itself. So I love that one, even though you were the interviewee and not the one doing the interview.
Oh, thank you, Greg. That's further down in my list in things that the Alita Army did this year. But yeah, that was terrific. I've got I've got a section from the very last podcast that the Movie Cellar guys did, which I'll play a little bit later, which in Dan's own words, Dan's the overlord of the Movie Cellar, he speaks about in connection with the Alita Army in 2020 and what it did for their VHS for T1D campaign.
Awesome. All right. Well, I won't say anymore. I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, it's cool. It's good that interview, has had some impact. So I'm pleased that
It did.
That not only did the acting Alita Army listen to it, but we've got some new folks in. So terrific. Thanks for letting me know. The other, the other actor that FKN's actually in talks with to get on, and I have to say that FKN on Twitter, great guy. He chases up a lot of actors and gently prods them to come on. He's talking with George Lenenberg Jr., who played Tanji, and it sounds promising, but George hasn't found time yet to come on. I was hoping to get him on today. That was hopefully going to be our big surprise for the new year, but didn't happen. But hopefully in a few weeks we'll have George on and we'll have yet another great interview with one of the actors in the movie. So keep an eye out for that one.
Fingers crossed. Okay. I definitely want to ask him if it was like a body double or something, because there's one scene in the scrimmage where Tanji got bitch slapped by Alita, and then further on there's another guy with a similar hairstyle or the same hairstyle, and we're thinking, hang on, if Tanji's over there, what's he doing over there? And it's like,
oh, I remember that. There's a few continuity errors in that movie.
Yeah.
Some more noticeable than others. The sword flying across the table is the one that always bothered me. She just thumbs up, man.
I thought that was just an editing error, that it was the same person.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I would guess it was a stunt double for that face plant, because they're just throwing him face down into the concrete,
Yeah, I would expect a stunt double for that as well. That was actually on my list of questions to ask him if he came today.
Either that or it's the last thing they had him film, just in case. I don't know.
Well, I've actually known a few stunt doubles, and I know a guy who's he's gone off the roof of a building, and he's supposed to land on one of those big air cushions, and some fucker moved it.
Oh no!
Yeah, he was pissed. It took him like 2 years to recover from that.
Oh God!
So yeah, it's being a stunt double is not life. So, year in review. We've kind of covered all the stuff that we've done on the live stream, but accomplishments of the Alita Army in 2020. There were quite a few. You guys can be very proud of yourselves that you've been involved with such an amazing fandom, and that we've done so much campaigning that they're talking about, well, we got a re-release for starters, and they're talking about the possibility of moving forward with the franchise. So that's fantastic. We haven't succeeded, but we've succeeded, if you know what I mean. So we've still got the goal, but we're at least halfway up Mount Everest. So accomplishments that stood out. Now, thank you to Muskogee for this list. He popped this into the guest sign-up document, but I've moved it over into the show notes. So
Well, I
we
left out a couple of things though that you actually updated because I wasn't here the whole year.
No, that's fair enough. Look, anything that you could do to help me with this massive list, I really appreciate. So we successfully lobbied AMC, Cinemark, and Regal, and other smaller theatre chains to re-release Alita on October 30th for Halloween. We obtained over 168,000 signatures. Well, admittedly, we didn't do all of those within 2020, but that's what it's up to. For Robert Rodriguez' Alita Battle Angel 2 petition, we commissioned a private air flight service to fly our Alita sequel banner at the Oscars. And she didn't get an Oscar, boo hiss, but lots of VFX awards, and they're the people who would know. We raised $30,000 for Bionic Arm to give to a worthy recipient. The sad thing about the pandemic is that that's basically put that on hold. They don't want to risk people's health by bringing them in and doing that sort of measuring up work on them when there's so much virus floating around. But hopefully, as the vaccine gets spread out across the US, and hopefully the infection rates will drop, and then that will move forward. But that bionic arm is still there and waiting for its worthy recipient. Successfully funded 2 billboards promoting Alita Battle Angel. Raised money to support Lockheed producing a video to tell a story. We raised over $1,200 for the JDRF via the Movie Seller podcast crew and became gods of the show, which is still undefeated. So we're still gods of the show, and on every podcast they say that their podcast is supported by us. So we're linked to them until otherwise advised.
I believe there's a little, there's rumblings that a few of the, not just a few, but several of the, I think, what's the rank step down, like the kings of the show or something like that, wanted to all pull and get together to try and knock us off our throne. And yeah, that'll be interesting if that ever comes to fruition. And if it does, then more power to them. But yeah,
yes.
that is.
Bring them on.
Yeah, they'll do it. We'll take it back. But as I was saying earlier, when Greg brought up that the Movie Seller podcast is what got him into the fandom, which is amazing. It was great to hear that. The Movie Seller recently did a 2020 wrap party, and they mentioned us multiple times. In fact, Overlord Dan's, they have, if you haven't heard the podcast, I highly recommend it. It's got me through many hours of boring jobs at home and at work when I had a job. But listening to that podcast, they have a section at the end which is they give the movie a score, and they have what's called a metal moment, which is the one thing that was most memorable about the movie. Well, they did the same thing for their podcast for the year, and Dan's metal moment was us and what we did for their cause. So the Overlord of the Movie Seller picked us as the most memorable thing for his 2020 in the Movie Seller. So I was really, I got a bit emotional about that one. But let me play you now. I'm probably going to have to share my screen to do this, I think. Oh, good. It comes up at the top. So this is through Google Podcast. I have to do it this way because it's partway through. So I've got it keyed up to the right point. So I've got presentation audio activated. If it's going to come through into the stream star. Right, cool. Okay, I'll activate it anyway. So this is only a couple of minutes long, but it's basically Dan saying what happened in his own words when we got involved with their podcast.
Anyway, so April, I wanted to go to May because that's our anniversary, but let's go back to April because that was when we ran the 2019, what the fuck did we call it? Seller Picks 2019, where we did a movie tournament of the best movie of 2019, and that is where fate connected us to our gods of the show, the Alita Army. And
Jesus, I thought they were on long before that.
no,
Like, I feel like they've been.
nope. It was April 8th, I think, is when all the I think April 8th was when all the I looked it up in our JDRF page. That's when all the donations started rolling in. Either the 6th or the 8th.
God, I felt like it was so much longer than
I know. What? Well, it's because 2020. It's like the fucking longest year.
The perpetual.
Somebody posted a meme the other day that said, the year 2000 was 20 years ago, which is weird because 1980 was 20 years ago. And I was like, which is especially weird because 2019 was 20 years ago. Seriously, it's fucking, what is time? It's so fucking insane. But yeah, so April, so we ran that tournament. We started in March, it ended in April. And that's when, so the Alita Army stepped in because we had Alita in the tournament. Honestly, I threw Alita in because I really liked Alita. And I just wanted to get that movie title out there in case people hadn't seen it. It would give them an opportunity to check it out. Maybe they never heard of it, like I had never heard of it. So I did not anticipate, literally, it was the last movie I added to the tournament. I did not anticipate that the insane level of fandom that Alita has. And the Alita Army stepped in, and like from the first round, Alita dominated every round until I think it was until the final four was when Alita went up against
John Wick.
No. The final four was when Alita went up against Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse. And Robert Pattinson has a huge fan base because he was the dude from Twilight. So there was some competition there, but the Alita Army rose to that. And I saw, like, okay, when these guys put the fucking call out, it gets responded to.
It happens.
Yeah, and then they made it to the championship against John Wick 3. And I put the call out to the John Wick fans who went fucking crazy. But honestly, before that, I hadn't heard a peep from a Keanu Reeves fan or a John Wick fan at all. And then some folks in the Elite Army were not happy with me. Thought I was like stacking the deck against them. I just wanted to make the fucking championship interesting. And it did. So the Elite Army went back out there. They went to fucking Reddit, Facebook, every platform they could find, pulled in the votes, and they ended up winning. And I realized, like, with this kind of fucking like energy behind them, they could do anything. Like, if they've got 10,000 votes on this poll, like, they could easily raise $1,000 for our campaign. Now, right. I saw that they already did charity work, and I didn't want to take away from that, doing like bionic arms and stuff. But I remember that. But I was just like, yo, like, I think it's awesome that you guys won. We have this like tier in our VHS for T1D campaign, God of the Show. Your fucking name will be all over everything. If you want it, just let us know when those donations come in that they're for the Alita Army. And we were recording a show that night. And while we were recording that show, fucking, they came in like locusts, except for instead of like eating all our shit, they just fucking dropped all their money.
Straight to the
yeah, of course. Straight to the JDRF. Like that doesn't even need to be said. Everybody knows. But yeah, so it was like within 2 days they had raised over $1,000. I think it ended up being a total like $1,200. So that started our relationship with them. We had that great episode where we had Ray on, talked about the Alita battle.
Oh, Ray.
Yeah, the Pope. Ray also being type 1 diabetic, so that was really cool to talk to him. And then we connected with Cranberry Jam, who she did the amazing artwork that we have of Lily as Alita with her Dexcom patch on. And yeah, so that was that. That was wild. And like we still have a relationship with them. We touched base with them a couple months ago to talk about the re-release of Alita in theaters, and then Alita sequel stuff, and then also the Alita not manga, fucking what do you call the movies? Anime.
Animes.
Yeah. So that was awesome. Totally.
So there you go. There's a lot more to that. They're almost as verbose as we are. So
Locust. We got to add that to the list. Swarm of
Wait,
locusts.
Locust, I forgot about that.
Locust.
My God, the best bit was Ray becoming the Pope of the Elite Army. It's just, too perfect.
I didn't want to play it because it's sort of out of context, but earlier in the podcast, they just mentioned, oh, yeah, I was talking to the Pope the other day, and no context. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I listened to that podcast the other night working, and as soon as they said that, I'm like, oh, I know exactly who that is.
Joke, I tell you. So yeah, those guys are great. As I said, you can tell from just that snippet how appreciative they are. We're mentioned a bunch of times in that particular podcast, and as I said, Overlord Dan's medal moment of the year was us doing that. So they're highly appreciative of us. I'm personally highly appreciative of them. They're great fellas. I love going on their show and talking to them. Anytime anybody can drop some money, and I know it's hard times at the moment financially, but if you can spare a bit of money, it's a very, very good cause, the JDRF. So go through their website, go through their links on their social medias, and you can drop some money, and there's tiers of rewards for doing for giving donations, and you can go on their show and talk about a movie of your choice. Basically all that money that the Alita Army dropped, of course we had to do Alita, so that's what they did for us. So yeah, they quite liked it. It was high 8s and 9s, so I was very pleased. They're a good bunch of blokes and quite enjoyable to listen to, although it's not kid friendly, so just be aware of that.
Hey, Max, I got to leave here in about 3 or 4 minutes to go to work. I'll throw a couple things out real quick if I could.
Yeah, sure.
We had a second Alita Day, and now it's pretty well established as an annual event that'll happen every year. We got some response to it, mainly the cosplay thing, I think, from Rodriguez and Landau, Jackie Earl Haley. Rosa did a little bit. She just kind of posted a quick picture on Instagram. I don't know what went on with UTA and IDPR, her agency and her PR people. I don't know if they got involved somehow behind the scenes to make sure it got responded to, but just wouldn't reply to me. Maybe Rosa hadn't even gotten her mail. Maybe she didn't get it until after the start of the year. We'll see what happens with all that. I had other plans for the LA Times, aside from all the chaos going on. After I called the guy there 3 times and he never called me back, and then I read an article saying they had found him asleep in a business meeting, I decided to maybe shelf that for a little while.
Wait, really?
Try to raise money for a guy that wouldn't answer his calls because he's asleep at work. And were it not for COVID, we'd be having the first Alita annual assembly in Austin in about 6 weeks. But that got set back a little while. But I have watched them. They are starting to reopen some, and we'll try to do that one in early 2021. There's been suggestions of doing it like in September, but I want to get clear of this thing. I want to make sure they got lunch and dinner shows, because everybody will go twice, and that's twice as much money raised. And plus, it's hot in September in Austin. You got to know the weather. It's not the time to be there. You want to be there sometime like February or March or something. You can put on a jacket. You can't stop from sweat. So that'll be it for me, and I'll be out of here.
Well, thanks very much for your update there, Eddie, and for all your hard work and being part of the stream team. Really appreciate all your work from last year, and hope it continues.
Oh yeah, well, you too. You're the one that keeps it alive, really.
I'm a professional cat herder.
Professional Pope.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, residential Pope. I'm never going to let you live that down.
I know.
You keep calling me the grandfather, so I'll keep calling you the Pope.
No, you're the godfather, not the grandfather.
Godfather, sorry.
Pope of the Alita army. That's nice.
Yeah, wasn't it John who thought I was more like a rabbi? But anyway.
Yeah, that's.
I don't profess to any divinity. I'll just let you know that from here on out. So, other things that the Alita Army did this year, we met our financial goal to feed the Hungry campaign, met our financial goal for Rosa Saladar's appreciation gift, Alita Day, as Eddie has mentioned. We made connections this year with the Movie Seller, Cinema Blend, Alita Battle Angel fandom in Brazil, John Landau, Robert Rodriguez, and James Cameron. I only mentioned them. It's not a full-on connection, but they recognized us. They mentioned the Alita Army. So they know that we exist and they see us as legitimate. So that's great. And a more tenuous link to Elon Musk, who replied to some of Foxfire's tweets. So he knows about Alita. He has watched it and he has questions. So it's good that he is aware of our favorite movie.
Hey, another media connection. Do you guys connect with Mike Reyes, who's Mr. Controversy at Cinema Blend?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our Cinema Blend contact. I did mention him in our guest from the fandom because he considers himself part of the Alita Army. So
okay, cool.
He
sorry,
is
that one
listed.
got by me.
Did you mention that he was on? Did we forget that?
Well, he's not involved with the movie, and he considers himself part of the fandom. So I left him in the fandom section.
Oh, okay. Maybe I missed that part.
Yeah, I didn't specifically go over the episode that he was in though. So maybe that was a shortcoming on my part. I apologize. But yes, Mike Reyes did come on, and he was very excited, which is nice. It's nice to see other people, especially ones in the media, as excited about Alita as we are. So that was a terrific episode.
Yeah, thanks.
So we successfully competed in several movie polls. I don't know if Angelus wants to mention any of those just quickly.
The main one is just the GOAT one, or the greatest of all time. I mean, yes, it did spark, I wouldn't say controversy, but it brought out both sides of Twitter. But for the most part, I think we all handled it pretty well. And we beat, and let's face it, we ended up beating some pretty heavy-hitting movies as well. That, you know, if it wasn't for the Alita Army, they should have won hands down. But we still came through in the end. And also another bit of a salute to my partner in crime and co-host of the other stream in Muskogee Creek, because between us two, we just kept on every single, like, every time that our bracket would come up, we just kept on pushing it and pushing it. And overall, it was a lot of fun. And I'll make a special mention of the guy that was running it when he did like a bit of a review of, or not review, but like of the movies that were eliminated. Of course, after a while, Alita was one of them. And it was nice to see that not only were we mentioned, but like he had a bit of a background video clip of sorts playing while all the movies that were eliminated were scrolling on the screen. And of course, that background was the Kansas bar fight in Alita.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a link to it specifically. I didn't go that much deep into the show notes, so I don't have it prepared. But yeah, it is out there somewhere. But yeah, those movie polls were a lot of fun. Also, another, I don't know if she's even watching, but Becky Bond 007 also runs the odd poll that we that she involves Alita and Rosa in. And the silver lining out of that, or at least that I take out of it, is that you know, like Alita can really hang with the big shots, not just in Hollywood, but with fandoms in general. So
Yeah.
I'm really, sort of proud, like just to be a part of it all.
Oh, you can be proud. Look, you don't need to, have massive amounts of money and big plans. It's just campaigning all the time. It's all those little bits of noise that add up. Rattle the cage until someone hears. And you guys have been doing a fantastic job. I mean, as an example, you guys with the polls and getting people to vote on them. But all the work that the Alita Army has been doing from the first post where somebody goes, I just saw Alita Battle Angel, and my God, why did I sleep on this movie? It's fantastic. Even a post like that has an effect. It all builds up. And just the one thing we have to do is just persevere. As long as we keep going, we will get our sequel. We only lose if we stop.
Yep.
So keep in mind for 2021.
Yeah, long as we make it fun too. That's the thing, If you, where it's not a drudgery to do it. I mean, it's something nice to do.
Absolutely. Speaking of something nicest to do that the Alita Army and fans of the movie have been doing this year, I have a fan creations list that I've just got up to. So there's a segue for you. So the one that immediately jumped to mind on this list at the very top, this is not in any sort of order, it's just what occurred to me at the time, is Vladdy and his HT and Mini Alita stories.
Oh, boy.
If you want fun, go and check those out on Twitter if you can actually get on Twitter. I know mandatory carry can't. But the Hot Toys Alita dress-ups and the stories with the Mini Alitas and the Christmas story and all that stuff was fantastic. Likewise, it was actually brought up in the news, Sluggy Tinky's latest video and mini game that's coming.
David and Angelus and I actually dedicated one of our streams to Vladdy's Hot Toys Alita, and had a lot of pictures or photos to show to the viewers, that were on, which was probably like 10. But at least they got to see all those, and Vladdy explained the shots and how he did various shots. It was really interesting.
Ooh, I'm going to have to go back and have a look at that one. I must have missed it.
Definitely check out Creek Indian's channel, because I'm sure he's uploaded the video by now.
Oh, yes.
And like I said, he has, for those that are at least on Twitter and have seen all the tweets that Vladdy has made of Hot Toys Alita, that's like the Titanic tip of the iceberg of the level of shots that he has.
Yes.
Saved on his PC, and some of them are really amazing, really well done.
Yeah. We actually did. That was our very first stream, I think, wasn't it, Angelus? I think we did that one. I also put together a video, for folks to watch. It had some more shots of Hot Toys Alita, and they were most of those shots were Vladdy's.
So the next thing that occurred to me in this list was Foxfire's 3D printed glowing Alita arm holding her heart. Now, I think that was this year, or it might have been 2019.
I think that was last. Wait. No, I think that was this year, actually. Maybe he got. I know he started it in 2019, but.
Yeah, I don't think he revealed it until early this year. Oh, sorry, early last year. God, you just keep passing so quick. But yeah, that was pretty amazing. I was really impressed with that work. I never would have thought to have made something like that, but wow. So we have some really talented people in the fandom. This is just one example. Speaking of Fox, there was the Alita prequel group who were animating a prequel trailer for a proposed prequel series to do with Alita's past. That was Foxfire, Isan Ramnos, Primal Rex, and Cranberry Jam doing the voiceovers. Amazing work. It was a little unfortunate that it wasn't quite completed when it was released, and it's that first 5 to 10 seconds that really needs to wow people to get them to stick onto it, and that was the bit that wasn't quite rendered. So while it was fantastic, it didn't quite hit the mark that they were hoping for, and that group is now dissolved and gone off to do other things. So possibly lessons to be learnt there. Wait until it's ready. I just asked Cyberpunk 2077 producers about that statement. Wait until it's ready. I know that there's a lot of people in the fandom have been playing that and understand that statement far better than they did before they started playing that game. But the video is out there. I believe that it is really good. I have no problems with the the sort of semi animated section at the front. I think it's fine. But then I'm old school, so everything doesn't have to be beautiful CGI for me. But as a CGI sizzle reel, it didn't quite come across the way they wanted. But they did get John Landau to look at it, so maybe they were involved in the instigation, or that project was involved in the instigation of the talks about an Alita prequel series.
I think that counts for just as much as anything.
I like to think that it may have been one of the instigators for pushing those talks along. So, it's like, hey, look, these guys did this thing. It's pretty amazing for the, latter part. And they're really excited about and the idea of a prequel series. Maybe we should consider doing one. I think that was part of the conversation. So well done, guys. I know that you're not working on it anymore, but kudos for the many, many, many hours of hard work that was put in on that. And that's the sort of dedication the Alita Army thrives on. Speaking of dedication that the Alita Army thrives on, my next point is Pooley, Moonheart X, and Sui, Black Egg 5 Club, Armador 2012, Foxfire, and others who have been pumping out Alita AMV edits. Perhaps not as fast as in 2019, but they've still been doing a fantastic job. In fact, I believe Moonheart X put out one just today. Is that right, Pooley?
Yes, she did.
So everybody needs to go and check that out. Put lots of love and thumbs ups on that one. I only saw it while we were preparing to go live with this, so I didn't actually get a chance to watch it yet, but it's on my to-watch list for after the stream. So check that one out, guys.
Yeah, she made it in 2 days and is probably one of my favorites, to be honest. It's very,
That's
very
awesome. That's awesome.
I know it took 2 days because of all the clickety clacks.
With creative endeavors, you can have years of plugging away slowly at things, and then at other times when the muse won't shut up until you do the thing, you can do the thing in a very short period of time and it just works. So it's really nice when that happens.
It's also very much if you have the inspiration toward. I try to put, for me personally, I try to portray saying people who want to make video edits. Your edits do not, or the songs you choose do not have to relate to the video or the movie. It can in some way, but if you just enjoy the song and you can listen to it a million times as you would and will, then you can make something amazing because you have the patience and the inspiration to do it.
Wise words.
Patience, inspiration, and dogged determination, I think.
Yes. And if you love the song, you probably will not after you're finished the edit, so have to add your own risk.
I remember watching your live stream of when you did that edit with Moonheart. I forget the song, but like the amount of times that you went over just like the one section of the motorball scene.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, watching you at work was entertaining, but I can't imagine what it would have been like for you to just loop it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt crazy, but good at the same time.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff like what I did, like I've got one on the way, one a month. No, I want to try and get more out. But I've got one on the way, and I'm probably halfway done with it. And I did stream me starting and where I got to now. So and a small little plug. I will be streaming my edit, so people can probably see my techniques and what I do, and hopefully gain some inspiration and figure out how to do stuff with edits and stuff. Because I don't want to just be the only one who does it. I think that's just unfair. So that's poorly on YouTube. So yeah.
Cool. Hey, quick question. What program do you use for editing and for putting your videos together?
I use DaVinci Resolve.
DaVinci Resolve. Cool. Thanks.
Pooley, Flynn Berserker asks, Pooley or Moonheart, how many screens do you use for creating videos?
Moon uses one, I use two. I like to have my entire timeline, so all the kind of individual clips on one big screen, and then another screen, another basically full size of just the video, so I can kind of get more into depth without. But that's what I'm used to. Moon behind me, she uses one screen though, so
That way you don't have to flip back and forth too, right? You just
yeah.
see them. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's also I get a lot of questions saying why don't I use other softwares? One, money. Two, if you don't need Premiere to make Avatar. I know Premiere was used to make Avatar or put all together, but you don't need it. You can use Windows Movie Maker if you like. The first videos I made was made through Windows Movie Maker, and then eventually I discovered. I went through college and I got Premiere, and now I'm using DaVinci. So, just if I would say pick a software, understand it, learn about it, master it, and just stay with it. You don't need million. You don't need this £1,000 software.
Cool.
So my next point in the list here is Cranberry Jam's Alita artworks. You get your very own point.
Oh no.
Yes.
No.
So, Cran, how many Alita artworks do you think you've done in 2020?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Not even one a month. Come on, you can go faster than that.
Did you see them?
I know. I blame Angelus for making them so goddamn complicated.
It's a good thing this is a family show, or else you know what Cran would say to you.
Yeah. I'm keeping it family friendly.
This is not a family show. Come on, this is where we are.
I'll be seeing you in Discord later.
Looks like we're going out to the back alley to have a punch up.
Oh, dear.
Can't social distance.
Yes.
So, Cranberry, do you want to just share your screen of the one you just completed for Angelus, just to?
Are you okay with that, Angelus?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, hold on. What is it? Let's see. We're all learning this. Is it present now?
Yes.
Okay.
I want you to show mine too, Cran, if you don't mind.
Okay. All right. Is that working?
Yeah, it's working.
All right.
Whoa.
I mean.
Okay, is that showing up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still editing the scan, so you can't see it with it zoomed out, but there's some stuff I still have to clean up on it.
Is that because of when you scan it?
Yeah, I'll show you.
This is just slightly pissing me off. I can barely make a circle.
Really?
I got like little things here where it didn't line up quite perfectly.
Oh,
So
okay.
I got to go in and pixel by pixel fix all that.
You do that
That's
too.
100%. Yeah, this is 100%. So this is a big scan.
Do you hand draw? Or
This
do
is
it through?
this is completely hand drawn.
Jesus.
Bro.
God.
You should have heard us swearing about those wings. My God, so many swearings in DMs. These wings are driving me mad.
That's the bloody dusty way. I've just caught on with that.
Always loved the pointy chin and pointy nose.
Oh, thank you.
Just reminds me of
Detail
how,
in the wings too.
Mm-hmm. The hair, almost like a blue.
Yeah,
I like
this
the purple
piece
stuff.
is
That's
14 by 17 inches, and I forget what that is in centimeters.
It's big.
It's
It's a pretty
huge.
decent sized picture. Yeah?
It's probably
Where's-
A3-ish.
I can't wait to frame it and hang it.
Man, you did some work on those designs on the
I
quilt.
know.
Wow.
I'm looking at that.
Wow.
I'm like, how the
I-
hell?
I had to simplify that because it was so complex. Let's see, where is?
Simplify it? That looks
Yes.
simple to me.
No,
Really?
no. Hold on, where is it? Desktop. Crap, where is it?
Gonna see the lewd ones.
It looks like a little scarab beetle.
That's what it looks like in the film.
No way.
Oh shit.
I do not blame you.
Yeah.
No, I love how you pulled that out and distilled it down for your artwork. That's a great job.
How could you even see it? I can't see shit.
I screenshotted, zoomed in, all that fun
Just
stuff.
have the 4K version, basically.
Yeah, pretty
Right.
much.
That's still good, Cran.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow.
We've
Nicely done.
cranked past the 2 hour point, so
Uh-oh,
if you want to
okay.
show Muskogee's quickly,
Yes.
we can't turn into an art stream, but I
Nah.
did want.
Yeah.
I knew you just finished this, so I did want to get you to show it.
Buffalita.
Yes. Buffalita. Yeah.
Armalita.
Lift liter.
Man, come on. I love it. Lita.
Yeah, cyborgs lifting weights.
And that
Yeah,
lives on your wall in your lifting space, doesn't it, Muskogee?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But I do have plans for more stuff this year. Just we'll see what happens over time.
You have to do another sequel to this artwork of just Alita holding it with one finger and yawning.
See what's interesting about this right here, though. You see those resistance bands in the back. Those are the actual colors and the bands that I have hanging on my wall. That's exactly what she did. That exactly. So
Nice.
Well, that's
Yes.
nice.
You'll be pleased to know, Cran, if I get you to do anything this year, it'll still be the little small 2-person things.
Okay.
So it'll be much easier than that. No backgrounds. I know how you feel about backgrounds.
I don't mind them. They just take so long. That's why there's not so much this year. But I enjoyed them. I really do appreciate the people in the fandom letting me do this. This is pieces I wouldn't otherwise do.
Like,
Let me stop sharing here.
Is there something I've forgotten? While we're on the point of artists, we had other great artists like Mathau, Griggs 305, and great photoshoppers like Paul Untitled, Alita Underground / Sci-Fi, and so many others, and also the meme lords like Sluggy Tinky 21 and Muskogee. So to all you art art-centric, art-related, art-able people. Wish I was like you.
Wow.
Some of us more or less art
So,
related.
so eloquent.
That's right. Hey, look, I'm jealous as hell. That's a compliment.
Yeah, as far as the memes too, I just want to do a shout out to Angelus. You know, he found a really good segment for me to put together as a video meme, and also to Cranberry Jam. She did a voiceover for one of my favorite memes too. So that thanks, guys.
If it's art-related, you're right on time.
Yeah, Mickey, this just came back to my memory now. Mickey 9891, you know, a bunch of numbers on Twitter. He had posted, was it 99 days or 99 Alita artworks? You can see them on the screen right now. He drew he's a Japanese guy who drew the comic strips, the little short, little cute comic strips.
Oh yeah.
He completed that, and it was like 99 of them. So it was like,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Wow.
you know, we got to give him
A shout out.
yeah,
Yes.
because that's
Definitely.
a lot. He was doing it, and they were funny. They were so cute, and you know, I wish there was like a book of these that I could hard copy
Oh,
that I
yeah.
could hold in my hand.
If anybody can do a translation, that would be amazing.
All right.
I mean,
It's
I could
kind of
put it together, but it would be extremely time consuming, and then you know, getting it printed, looking for a printer and all
yeah.
of that. But yeah, and so I don't have time to go
It's
through
like
them
the
all,
short
but
novels of it's like the short novels of Gundam that never got translated. You can buy them, but you can't read them unless you learn Japanese.
yeah, I mean they're so funny. I wish we had time to go through them because they're so funny and they're so cute.
Well, if there's anybody out there in the fandom who knows Japanese and can translate it to English, here's your opportunity to make a difference for the fandom. Or do you click the translate button and get the translation?
I think it's more he just yeah. So the comic strip itself has still Japanese kanji, but a tweet reply would have the translation.
Do they really write up and down like that?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And backwards.
Oh, what the hell?
Right to left. That's why all the proper manga graphic novels read from right to left. The original Viz translations, they flipped it, so Alita and everyone else was left-handed in the original Viz translation because they'd reversed it so it read left to right. But all of the following ones were all right to left.
Okay. That's so weird.
Well, it's just what you used to. It's what you grow up with. So, are you ready to move on from that stuff? Oh, I remember that. Yeah. Oh, you are funny, Corinne.
Mm-hmm.
We need to clone you, I think.
Just make a taller version. Running.
You should.
Another one for the Discord spanking.
He can line up behind me.
Yep.
You could say,
Okay, so just sharing my screen. So the next point in my massive list of things that Alita Army has been doing this year is the Alita Army, the Alita related YouTube channels. So obviously a lot of you guys would know about a lot of these. I could run off the list, but I think that you probably know most of them by now. There's a few here that I don't know much about, but there's big ones like JR, Star of Aliens, Alita Updates, Dan Fox, Enigma, Bully, Alita Army, Tango Leo, Splash Bang, Radio Chaos, so many, Sluggy, Zen, Revan, Bazilla. So all of these guys have got YouTube channels. Go into the channel section of the Alita Army YouTube channel, and you can find all of these, and you can go visit them and catch some more Alita content. So if you're not on there, please let us know, and we'll attempt to add you. And look, Cranberry's got over 2,000 subscribers. Yeah. But
Nice.
Muskogee's only got 59. What the hell, guys? Go over to Muskogee's and subscribe, goddammit.
Well, having 59's better than only having 30.
This is true.
I'm going to keep quiet.
Oh, yes, Mr. 15K.
I didn't even know. I've literally just found out.
Well, you must be doing something right, man. Congratulations.
I literally just looked at it and thought, how the hell am I? How? What have I done?
Good stuff.
Yeah,
We know
Pooley, we played your Christmas video at one of the streams too. That the one where Alita slices Grishka in half, and it says "Merry Christmas" after that.
Yeah, and she
That's
goes on
really
a
well
rampage.
done.
She goes on a rampage because he doesn't get chocolate. Yeah, oh my God, I was gonna make a Christmas video this year, but it was a bit stressful, so I didn't. But then I just remembered that last year I woke up early on Christmas and just spent about 5 hours and made that. So yeah,
it's well done.
Yeah, thank you.
So last couple of things that I've got, I'm sure I've missed stuff because you guys have been so busy. But the last couple of things I've got here on my not complete list, I apologize, is Sir Vent's rapification of Alita. He was actually on that list of YouTube channels that involve Alita. And his rap songs to do with the movie are fantastic. They got a lot of press when they came live through Twitter and Facebook. Check them out. And that was a highlight of the musical year for Alita. And I just wanted to, on the end of my list here, put a shout out to El Alito, who did an amazing Alita booth at Blazing Desert Comic Con earlier in the year before everything went to shit and we couldn't do that sort of thing anymore. So good timing there, El Alito, and it was a fantastic display that you put up at the con. And hopefully one day we'll be able to do that stuff again. 2020, son of a bitch. Okay. So major news items in 2020. Now, I know this list isn't complete because it was like 3 a.m. this morning. I've only had 3.5 hours broken sleep, so I'm amazed I'm still talking. And I also was amazed by the amount of news that there was. I had really felt that 2020 would bring a real drop-off in Alita news and things to do with the movie. And exactly. the reverse. I swear there's more that's been in the news this year about Alita than last year. I thought we were going to have a dark time. The lights have been on. It's amazing. I mean, we started with no Oscar, boo, which I found, was one of the biggest snubs ever, and basically turned me off the Oscars for all time. But there were a lot of reports of Alita Battle Angel getting awards in VFX awards ceremonies. So obviously the people who know something about it were giving her awards, even if the snobby bastards in the Oscars weren't. We had coverage of the banner over the Oscars. Crunchyroll had a most popular anime in 2020, and it was Alita Battle Angel according to Wikipedia results. So Alita Battle Angel must have been the most searched anime search topic in Wikipedia for 2019, which then led over to the award in 2020. So that was pretty amazing. I was really surprised by that. Elon Musk shared an image of a starship with Alita on the side. So I think we have ST and Foxfight, I think, for spamming the hell out of Elon for that one that he noticed. So that was pretty amazing, and he has 31.5 million subscribers, so hopefully that got us a few views for Alita. We had Alita wins Satellite Award for Best VFX, and John Landau posts about it, so that was one of the VFX awards that Alita won. Alita debuted on Sky TV, HBO Max, and other services. I was running out of time to find them all, so I just had a snippet there. There was a Prime 1 and Hot Toys Alita figure releases. They were pretty epic, and we had lots of videos there.
Bloody.
So Richmond Scooper says talks are getting more serious earlier because of Rodriguez's comments, but cut off. But he's probably just making an obvious guess because of it rather than any inside info. So that came from Vladdy. So there's even news that was just now, was it?
That's I'm trying to figure out. Just saw Vladdy's comment.
Well, while you figure that out, I'll just keep going through the list because we're running way over time. So we had the Prime 1 and Hot Toys Alita figure releases, which are important to lots of people like Cran and Vladdy and lots of other people who really enjoyed those specific merch releases. Still waiting on the bus though.
Supposedly January. We'll see.
Well, it is January. Where is it?
Supposedly. Oh yeah, well, it is.
Right. Ding dong. Oh, there it is. The Alita Blu-ray was finally released in Brazil. Now, I know that Star had that up showing on the screen earlier. That was a huge win for the Alita fandom in Brazil, and the Alita Army as a whole helped them campaign. There was a Twitter push for that one. And they got their release in Brazil. I don't know why it just wasn't done like everywhere else. Like maybe they thought, oh, Brazil won't like this. But obviously they rattled the cage, and that's the whole point. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. We got to be squeaky. And when you're squeaky enough, you get what you want. And they got their Blu-ray release. So lesson learned. The announcement of a new Prime 1 statue of Alita motorballing, which is even bigger. My God, where are you going to put that one, Cran?
I don't know.
Somewhere.
What about you, Paulie? Where are you going to put it?
I would have put it there, however, something big is filling it. So,
Millennium.
yes.
Cinema Blend had an Alita watch party, which I thought was kind of like the highlight of the year for them supporting Alita, which was great. Cinema Blend has been particularly fantastic with us in 2020. Alita Battle Angel limited re-release for Halloween by Cinemark, AMC, Marcus, Harkins, and Cinemagic Theatre Chains. So Alita did get out there again. I'm happy to say that my favorite movie was the best movie of 2019 and 2020. Fight me. I know you guys won't, but there's probably a lot of people out there that would. But yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, from the idea of the Twitter push, from the idea that was originally brought up by John, which didn't find traction the first time around, but later on when things started to calm down before the second wave of the pandemic in the US, was the right time, and we got the message out there. It didn't trend, but we atted the hell out of the cinemas, and they heard us, and they did it. And I think even though it didn't make a huge amount of money, it made it clear to Disney that there is still interest. And I think it was one of the linchpins in getting the discussion going behind the scenes with Disney about the sequel. So I think that was one of our major successes. May not have seemed like it if you speak to Scott Mengelson, but I believe it was. Isn't that his name? Is that right? I'm sure I think everyone else is pronouncing it wrong.
Dr. Mengel.
Dr. Mengel. That's right. Rob retweeted Paul Untitled's Alita Grogu mashup for Halloween. That was a fantastic mashup, fantastic edit. And Rob liked it enough to retweet it. So that was fantastic. And every time that one of these guys retweets stuff that the Alita Army produces, they're basically saying, we see you and you are legit. So well done to Paul, and well done to everyone else who's produced things and got it out there and has made enough noise to get it noticed. Well done. News on hints of sequel prequel talks at Disney following all that up. Everglow Ladi Da live performance where Euron is dressed as Alita. I'm waiting for somebody to jump in there. I know there's a lot of people who loved it.
Well,
I'm just replaying it in my head.
Fair enough.
I don't know about the hints of the sequel prequel thing here, but I do know at the Disney investors meeting, even though they did not specifically mention Alita and any plans for it, there were two shots of the poster of Alita Battle Angel right below the Mandalorian behind the presenter. So it was sort of a nod to us, I think. So I think we're definitely in Disney's. We're definitely on their radar, I think.
Yeah, I would say it wasn't
either-
even a sort of nod. It was a total nod. That Disney does nothing by accident. That was very much on purpose. So
Yeah.
I took that as a very good sign.
Yes.
Being devil's advocate for just a minute, was it a nod to us, or was it a thank you to Rob Rod for jumping in and fixing the Mandalorian episode when the director who was supposed to do it walked off?
Both.
Maybe both.
Yeah, quite possibly. I just wanted to throw that out there that they were probably patting him on the back as well.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, there's
I mean-
also some new, I think, new Blu-ray stands in Australia or something. Someone mentioned that had Alita like as part of this stand or something. I can't remember where I saw that, but it was like a day ago, I think.
Really? Wow, I must have missed that one.
Or someone, I can't remember. Or maybe it was some from one of the Aussies that mentioned it. I can't remember where it actually was. But someone mentioned seeing it. I wish I may have retweeted it.
I'll get to that, Jaya. Just replying to your text chat. Yeah, I had a point. Now it's gone. That's what 3.5 hours sleep does to you. Oh, well, moving on. So I know that you've had to listen to me for a couple of hours, and I apologize for that, but there was a lot of stuff to go through. I hope that I've covered it well. But at this point, I wanted to ask the panel, if you have a moment to think about it and can give us an answer to this. I should have actually asked you about this question before we started, so I had time. But what has been part of the Alita Army done for you in 2020?
For me, it's, I guess, I look at all the people that make video edits, that make artworks, and I think to myself, well, what can I do outside of just making noise and rattling the cage? And very early on, I didn't realize it until a little bit after, when I started streaming with Den, is I can at least sort of help out where I can there. And because I guess I was introduced to the Alita Army in a way through Ray somehow. I don't know the exact conditions and what happened. I never really have a good memory in that regard. But yeah, it's even getting up the confidence, let alone the skill set to host a couple of the shows. And obviously, eventually we might get into some sort of tag team rotation. Who knows? But yeah, for me, that's what the Alita Army has done, and I guess I've found my little. I don't know if I call it a calling, but definitely my little niche within the Alita Army.
Well, the thing about the Leader Army is that we're always short of people to do things. And if you want to step up and have a go at something, just do it. I mean, this time last year, I had never hosted a live stream in my life. I had never been on YouTube. I've never done any of that. But I said to myself, look, somebody's got to stand up front and talk too much, and I can talk. Just do it. And you'd never get better at anything unless you do it. So make 2021 the year where you do something new in the fandom, where you try something new. Get out of your comfort zone. There's an old saying that says, just outside of your comfort zone is your growth zone.
Mm-hmm.
Live in your growth zone, not your comfort zone.
No, I like that. That's good.
So yeah, make 2021 the year that you try something new. You know, I mean, I'd love it to be something that adds to the Alita Army and this 7-page document of wow shit that you guys have done that's been amazing. But even if it's not, you know, learn something new, talk to new people, start a new hobby, do that thing you always were going to do but didn't think you had time or the talent. Just try it, find out. You may surprise yourself. I know that I've surprised myself with my dealings with the fandom, and I know that a lot of people in this fandom have surprised the hell out of me with their amazing talent. And it's all there. Everyone's got a talent. You just got to find it. So start looking. And that talent is not in your comfort zone. It's just outside in your growth zone. So go out there and find it.
Yeah.
And that's the way we get us by being brilliant.
Yeah, I think for me, to be able to support such a worthwhile cause as trying to get a sequel and a prequel and a series and a whole franchise for that matter, but doing it through like Angelus and I do our stream. We mainly put that together because Dan kind of dropped off the planet for a while, so we picked that up. But it's just nice to interact with some of the folks that come on the stream and just see what they do. And in some small way, because I'm a relative newcomer to the Alita Army, and just to do, some kind of worthwhile, contribution, trying to make that happen. It's really a good thing to do. It's really something that makes you feel good.
Yeah, it feels good, man.
Yeah. So for me,
once you get over the trepidation, being on the stream is so much fun.
Yes, it is.
So I'd say the Alita Army for me has been fandoms and fan bases have been around forever, but for me, movies, Hollywood has always been a very separate thing. It's something that these big people do and something amazing they put together. And Alita was totally amazing, but then I discovered you all and us all now. But the Alita Army made Hollywood, and at least this huge movie, personal. And I have connections with people across the globe, which to me is huge. And as unfortunately fractured and tribal sometimes as so many people can be, here in the Alita Army, we can actually build bridges together and connect with people from all different walks and all different stripes. And I value that a lot. And then on top of that, I see the Alita Army doing all kinds of generous, beneficial work giving of themselves, giving of time and money and talent in all kinds of ways, like to the Open Bionics, to the GDRF, the guys with movie sellers, and then feeding homeless or feeding the hungry, and just reaching out and making movies and fandoms very personal and personable and connective, and that's just been huge, and I've so enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to adding my contribution to that. So it's just been making it personal in a good way.
Yeah, that's a good point, Greg.
Really well said.
Yeah, I think when I was back in North Carolina, Cranberry Jam and Rido and I were having beers, and one of the things we agreed about was that, well, we agreed about a lot of things, like drinking beer. That was a good thing. But anyway, one of the things that we did agree on is like the Alita Army is like a large family, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can have different perspectives about different things, you know, like religion, politics, whatever it is, but that it's that focus, you know, on Alita that kind of brings us all together and enables us to build those bridges that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Who else have we got?
John, you had something to say a bit earlier?
Oh, I actually kind of forgot what it was, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
kind of backing off what Greg said, because he said it really, really well. The whole reason I'm still here is because of all of you. And frankly, it's probably one of the things that's kept me sane this year. I think everyone could probably agree with that, though.
Yeah, John.
People wonder why-
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
thanks for being on this stream and contributing to our stream, mine and
That's no
Angela's stream.
problem.
Yeah, we really enjoy having you on.
I was going to say people wonder why I spend so much time doing all the background work for the stream, but it keeps me sane. I mean, having something to focus on that, you know, is enjoyable and brings so many people from around the world together. I don't think that experience is available many other places.
I agree.
So, I mean, you might think it's a lot of work. I mean, the amount of work that Paulie puts into his edits, I know that, you know, for a minute of video, he probably puts in weeks of work. You know, well, some of them go a bit faster than that, but yeah, I mean, if you love something, you put time into it. And I love this fandom, so I put time into it.
Yes.
For me, it's, I mean, I'm obviously still gonna be here for the movie, but really for me at this point in time, it's not even about the movie anymore. It's been more about y'all. I don't really know how else to say it.
Oh, you said it pretty good.
It's there's a lot of reasons why, but it's the movie. The movie, we'll always have the movie here, but you know, people I find to be far more coming from someone who generally doesn't talk to that many people, but yeah, that far more than I ever will the movie, or even the sequel for that matter.
Paulie and Star, do you want to comment on this before we move on?
Well, let's start go first if he's here.
Slice of life. Paulie?
Yeah, I think for me, in regards to Julia Army, is I see a lot of, even though I've been absent for a while at the end of the year, I still go on Twitter and I still go on Facebook and I still go on Reddit and Discords, and I see a lot of people talking. Not really. Some of them don't always talk about the movie. They talk like they've been friends for decades, or even like they've been lifelong friends, or as a lot of people say now, is it just treats the fandom feels like a family. And I do honestly agree. I know that kind of like the time, I think this year, the entire planet has reflected on the ways of holding those who are close to you is important, because you have limited time. And I think this has really made this year's or 2020. I can't say this year now.
I'm still stuck on that too.
But it's made people reflect on how mortal everyone is and how your time is limited with people. And I think I see a lot of the creative stuff, seeing the drawings. I still get people DM me, telling me their edits, and I have other people who steal my edits and they're arseholes. But even with the people who steal my work, I think it's also because they're passionate for there's either two types of people. They're passionate for it or they don't, or they just want the views. And the people who are passionate for it, I want to try and help. I will ask them to delete my videos on their channel, but I want to help them. And I think life's kind of just too short, and this year has definitely shown that. I think by the world just being default to a negative view now, you kind of need to be positive and spread positivity. And I think that's what the Alita Army does. It is a full of positivity and positive people, and you're never talked down. You're never acted as if you are saying something wrong. You are not, or yeah, it is a very small family, and I'm very appreciative that I have this opportunity to be kind of have a bigger word than most people. But again, just because my word is louder than others doesn't mean that others are silent. And I think that's what the Alita Army does best, is that amplifies people's voices into what they are truly passionate about. So yeah.
You know those
I think the
bobbleheads.
passion is hugely important. Sorry, Angelus. Go ahead.
You know those bobbleheads that sort of like look like they just keep on nodding and nodding and nodding. That's what my head is doing right now.
I'm doing that too.
You might want to get your neck checked.
Yeah, I know.
It's
But
annoying
yeah.
because, well, actually, to be honest, I will be honest, I did think of making like an extract of what I felt, because to be honest, even though 2020 has been such a hard year for everyone, it was such a crucial and amazing year for me in sense of all these fandoms. I'm part of multiple fandoms, from Alita to Titanic. I don't really talk about Titanic as much here, of course, but my voice has got very big over this year, and it's the loudest I think it's ever been. I know I'm quite a shy person, as I think a lot of people who are Alita are quite shy, and I'm just kind of gaining that confidence through other people, and they're giving me this confidence to talk, and they're listening to me. I've never really had people listen to me, and yeah, it just this year, even though I'm going to say this year again, 2020 has been a hard year, but for me personally, it's had a lot of positivity on me mentally. And I did want to do a video talking about my 2020 and basically like a 15,000 subscriber thing, it can be called now, on how appreciative I am to be a part of this fandom and be a brother to everyone else.
Looking forward to that, man.
Can we just stop calling it a fandom and just call it a family now, damn it? I call the uncle position.
Does a family have a pope position? I don't know that.
It does now.
I mean, we got grandpas, we got dads. No, I'm fine. I'm not gonna go there.
We got locusts.
Man, come on now.
Star, are you back yet? Are you relieved and back?
I try to talk as long as possible to give him time.
You may have been way late on the way back from the.
All things considered, though, I mean,
yeah. No, well, you're about the only one who hasn't spoken yet, so we're waiting to hear your comment before moving on.
If you wanted to make one.
Okay, see, look, this is the thing about me, and this is why I don't talk a lot, because I am an introvert, believe it or not. I am a person who is I like to keep to myself. I don't really only have a few friends in the world, right? And I'm not very outgoing. So this whole thing, my whole time here, I've been way out of my comfort zone, and that's fine. But I do it because I try to interact with people because I'm passionate about the film, and I do want a sequel, and I respect everybody, and I value everybody, and at least I would just like that to be known, though I may not show it a lot. Um, I do appreciate everyone and all the time and effort that you give, and I would say the next year we may not get exactly what we want when we want it, but I just think I don't want to make anybody feel kind of disappointed by saying that, but I mean we may not get the theatrical release when we want it, but still stick in there and um, don't feel bad if you get tired and you think you're letting everybody down or anything like that. It's normal. Just do what you can at the pace that you can. Don't feel pressured to try to go above and beyond what you're capable of doing. Just do the little bit that you can, and that works. Just keep the torch lit, and I guess that's the best I can do to be a motivational speaker.
I
Like I
thought
said,
you made a good counterpoint to my argument, so well done.
yeah. So this is why I don't really
Yeah,
speak a
bro.
lot. So
No, well, on that point, 2020 has taken a toll on a lot of people, and I know myself that the amount of work that I put in on the live stream occasionally makes me feel like I'm on the way to burnout, and I don't want that to happen. So, if I'm feeling that, and I'm the maniacal Alita fanboy that I am, other people must be feeling it too. So. Yeah, I'm sure that there are people who are doing it rough and don't have the energy to put into something like this, like we are at this stage. So, I mean, 2021, we don't know exactly what that's going to bring. It may be that the crew of the live stream do start to get a bit burnt out, and we reduce it to once every 2 weeks. We may, ease off the accelerator a little bit, because we just running out of energy. But hopefully, we can get some fresh blood in, new people who do have that energy and time and can put it in. This channel is for all the Elite Army. It's just us that jumped in and started doing something with it. But if you want to be part of the crew, and want to come in and be like Angelus and Muskogee, who've joined recently. I've actually got details here. Angelus was first a guest in episode 26, as was Muskogee. Angelus joined the production team for episode 37, and I'm happy to inform you that Muskogee has joined the production team as of the last episode when he jumped in and hosted the stream when we had an absence of a stream manager. So thank you so much for doing that, Muskogee, and welcome to the team, man.
I appreciate it, and it was chaotic, that's for sure. But hey, it wouldn't be Radio Chaos. That's right, it wouldn't be Radio Chaos if it wasn't chaotic. But it was fun, though. That stream was a lot of fun.
Embrace the chaos.
Yes.
Cranberry, have you been sitting there translating one of those comics?
No. Why do you ask that?
Because you say, I hate you all, just so you know. Oh, Cranberry.
She felt compelled to do it.
You can do it. Do it now.
Translate now.
I didn't translate. I pulled it.
Oh.
So you didn't translate this?
No, the person actually does have translations under all the comics.
Oh, so you just put the text in?
Yes.
Ah, right. So
No, I cannot speak Japanese. I cannot speak nor read it.
I think the problem with Japanese is you have to read it down, not across.
I love that. That is so good.
Kind of sums up 2020 for the Alita Army fandom, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Crazy look in her eyes. We are warriors, aren't we? Alita Army, aren't we? God.
Cockney Alita.
I don't know what happened on a Cockney accent.
Oh, I love that.
You could do better.
Moonheart over there in the background.
So this
It's
brings
just
me
behind me
to
laughing at me.
Yes, I have no clue what.
We're gonna laugh at somebody. It's your turn.
Oh.
So this brings me to one of my closing points. We're getting there. I am supremely grateful to the Radio KAOS team, past and present, for all the effort that you guys have put in to make this thing happen. Even though I stand up here up front and do most of the talking, sorry about that. I'll get Angels to do a bit more in the coming years so that you don't have to listen to me all the time. But there... Yeah, no worries, man. It's been an experience, and I think it's made me grow. So I'm getting something out of it too. But thank you all for your confidence in me, and thank you all for what you've been putting in. The current team of Star of Elian, Eddie McTrigger, Angelus, Oddjohn Hoots, Dennis Pooley, and the latest Alita Army member to step up is Muskogee Creek. With El Alito, who's also been on as a guest a few times, and Vladdy handling text chat, who have also been on quite a bit in the early days, but then he had to work, so he couldn't get on at the right time. But appreciate you all. Thank you all for the work that you've been putting in, and the past members as well. Enigma Seeker, who was in at the very beginning and didn't end up continuing with us. Dennis Barjack, who came on as a regular panel member and then suddenly disappeared, but it looks like he is still alive, so thank goodness for that. And we hope to see more of him. We hope to get him back here. And of course, Foxfire, who did a lot of the stream managing in the early days and has put a lot into the fandom with things like the 3D printed arm and the projects and the billboards. He's done a huge amount of work with the Alita Army. Thank you for doing that, Fox. And we understand that burnout is a real thing, as I was discussing before, and we hope that you're going to be back with it soon and having a bit more time. So thank you all so much for all the effort that you've put in. As I said, it's been an amazing year. The 6 hours that I spent going through all the show notes and being blown away by how much we actually did was cathartic and a real learning experience. It just goes to show that you focus on something every week and it just builds. It builds and it builds and it builds, and then you look back over a year and you go, oh my God, look what we've done. So yeah, it's been amazing. 2020 is one of my most memorable years because of you guys, not because of anything else that happened that was positive.
Pretty eventful.
The bulk of the positivity in my life has been through the Alita Army this year, and I thank you all so much for it. I can't put it any more succinctly than that. So that's the end of my notes. My God. We did put out the question, what is your favorite thing that happened in the Alita Army fandom in 2020? But I don't have any links here. Star, are you there? Have you got the link to that?
Oh.
You didn't make it in the notes. Didn't you? I thought there was at least one. Ah.
As did I. That's a mind fart on my end.
Well, is there anybody in the text chat that wants to pass on a comment about what their favorite thing was that happened in the Alita Army fandom in 2020? Now's your chance. I will read it out.
Yeah, just one thing, Maxie. Anybody that doesn't feel confident with being on live streams and that kind of thing, come visit us on the Alita live stream the day before this stream. We invite anybody. We always post a link in the text chat, and you can get on and talk Alita and get your confidence going, and then that'll prepare you to come on this stream here.
Yeah, the format is a lot more relaxed. You can actually go on and type in the text chat, and then they'll drop a link to the StreamYard into that text chat, and you can just jump straight on. So you don't have to sort of work up to it. You don't have to agree ahead of time and then stress about it, which a lot of people I'm sure do when they're doing something new for the first time. It's much easier to be in the text chat and listen to the people talking and get the feeling that they're friendly and it's a comfortable environment. Then you just jump on and start talking. I mean, that's the best way to get Jay a nice day to come on and talk. I've got to say, he's a hard man to organize ahead of time, but if he's in the text chat, he likes to jump on and have a chat. So be like Jaya. I mean, you don't have to be like Jaya and know everything there is to know about Alita, but be like Jaya and jump on the chat.
Yeah, we're more chaotic than they are. This particular.
If
stream.
that was
They're a lot
possible.
more chaotic.
Avon just brought up Gem of the Year for Alita Army Swan Song.
Was that this year or last year?
That was this year.
Was it?
That was back in
Well, there you go. I missed that one.
It was early.
This year's in 2021 or this year's in 2020?
So yeah, we were covering.
I'm not the only one who made a mistake. So.
Oh no, man! Look, I make lots of mistakes. As long as you recognize them, apologize for them, and move on, then you're good.
Or just make them a joke.
Wow, that's the other option.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't hurt anybody, you can laugh at yourself. That's all good.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so it doesn't look like we're going to get any more content from the fandom. So, in that is the end of my notes. Does anybody have any closing comments? I know that this is Greg's first rodeo, as it were, on the live stream. So, Greg, if you have any final comments, please pass them on.
I'm just grateful to be on. I've been, listened to you and just chatted with a bunch of you on Twitter, and it's been fun to be on and just add my voice to the chaos. Pun intended. Yeah.
And figurative.
It took me like a hot second to kick in, and then I realized and laughed at myself as much as the joke. But no, it's been a year to build upon. That's my final input.
Yeah, I like it.
And looking forward to building upon it.
Cranberry, do you have any closing comments?
Here's to another year, man.
More Kraken?
Always more cracking.
More Alita merch?
More, oh God.
More Alita
Slow
artworks?
down. More artworks, hopefully.
More artworks so you can afford that second screen and you can do more Alita artworks.
You start cracking down on the drawings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I bring it on myself.
Hey, John, you sure you haven't got a kid out there somewhere? Because that was a dad joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felicia tells me that all the time that I make nothing but dad jokes and Gobi Desert humor.
Ooh, dry.
That's what I mean.
Any last comments, Muskogee?
No, just hoka hey, y'all.
Well, that's pretty standard. So,
Hayes for
very
horses.
good. John, last comments?
Oh man, it's just been a wild ride, y'all. I don't really know how else to say it, but it's been a blast. Why do I make it sound like I'm going away? Jesus, I'm going nowhere.
I was about to say, let's hope you don't get bucked off the Bronco.
Right? But yeah, it's been fun and look forward to more. Hopefully, I can get more, kind of pop back on more often. Kind of dipped away after a little while.
Well, weren't you going to start your own channel with Alita content?
Yeah, that kind of fell through the roof. I need to get a better computer before I start doing that.
Well, Kren knows contacts to get better computers. She
Oh,
just got
yes.
one.
Yes, life's so much better now.
I'd imagine.
Not overheating every 5 minutes.
Oh, Hewitt Packard laptop from somebody's bunk office building. But hey, it works. But it really has been a blast, and I look forward to more. And hopefully we get to an announcement at some point within the next
yes.
less than 5 years. That'd be nice. What?
Sorry, what? Oh,
Please
that's
tell
the
me-
comment of 2021.
Please tell me that's on the stream. Please.
It's on the screen. We need to meet.
Yes, that's on the stream.
Ah!
Oh, he's muted. He's muted himself. So it's not on the screen. Damn. For those who are sitting there wondering what we're all cackling about, Star said, all that yummy toe jam just out of the blue. Because his mic wasn't muted. It was muted for you, it wasn't muted for us.
Oh my God.
That was amazing. I'm sorry you guys missed it. So, Paulie, any last comments before we all break into laughter again?
No, I think it's a good way to end it.
End it with the toe jam. Yeah, fair enough. I was going to ask Star for last comments, but he's kind of just, broken the internet right there. Yeah, all that yummy toe jam. I'd be busy too.
You got cranberry jam and you got toe jam.
It always devolves on this show, doesn't
it? Okay, well, if I can keep it together, I'll wrap it up. Next week will hopefully be Alita's history, her inspirations, who she inspired, and sequel possibilities, part 2. This is a part 2 of something we started just before the re-release thing sort of bubbled over, and we never got back to it. It's an ongoing and huge topic, and I hope to drag some of you guys in there to talk about it, and we'll recap what was said last time and move on from there, and hopefully wrap that one up. So I hope that you can all join us for that one. Remember, if you want to come on the Alita Army live stream, put your details in the form in the link below the video. And I've streamlined it a bit so it's easier to find where you're supposed to put your name. You can put your name under any of the topics that are there, or suggest one of your own. We do sort of move the topics around and add new ones, so check back every now and again just to see if there's a topic there that you like the look of. Or you can put your name down near the bottom as just a general interested person who wants to come on at some point. But we'd love to have you. We had 41 people guest on the show from the fandom last year. Let's make it 50 this year. So line up and let's have a chat. That'd be great. So thanks this week's guests for coming on, Cran Jam, Greg, and Alita Rave, who disappeared at some point, and that's unfortunate. He did say that he might be a little bit busy, so hopefully everything's okay there. And we missed you, Alita Rave. Hope you can come back again soon. But thank you, Cran and Greg, for coming on. As great as always, Cran, and thank you, Greg, for joining us. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back again real soon.
Totally. Cheers.
Excellent. And thank you, our listeners, for joining us and for being there in 2020 and making the live stream a thing, because there wouldn't be much point us doing it if you weren't listening to it. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for being involved in the text chat. I'm sorry we don't always get to it, but we do try. But there's a lot of screens going at the moment, so a lot of stuff to keep track of. But you are what makes the fandom special. I mean, all the guys here in the panel do as well, but it's the people in the fandom that make it special. The Alita Army fandom is like no other fandom on earth. I am 100% positive of that. The positivity, the dedication to the IP, the story, the ideal, the characters, I haven't seen anywhere else. And it's just a fantastic level of fun and positivity and involvement, and please let it continue in 2021. Be involved, be part of it. We'd love to see you. So thank you, 2020, for pissing off. We're done with you. You were great for the Alita Army, not so great for the rest of the world.
Great.
It was great for the Alita Army, wasn't so great for the rest of the world. And looking forward to 2021. COVID being in the revision mirror, and onwards and upwards, Alita Army. Thank you very much for joining us. And the call to action, as we always do at this point in the stream, 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Baby.
Thanks very much, and catch you next week. Bye for now.
You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song. It's better to have love. an interesting twist. Hmm.